Hello YouTube, I am Nox, and this will be my first installment for YouTube. My microphone is really bad quality right now. I haven't invested in a new one just yet. If I start making money from it, then I can upgrade my equipment to bring better broadcasting. So now let's go ahead and get started on this first video. This right here will be a spotlight video on a new beta for City of Steam. This is a browser-based game that's an MMORPG. Browser-based games are usually associated with kind of low-level graphics, but this one actually has some very impressive graphics. It's built using the Unity engine. And if anyone's familiar with that, most Unity games or even Unity web player games are pretty amazing looking. As you can tell from the video itself right here at the loading screen, there is some steam rising and you can see some of the stuff in the background. The armor. It's pretty nice looking. Now right now I'm a level 12. This is a blade type character. He can use two-handed, one-handed swords. Either works. Now when we go into the game here, you'll notice that there's a little bit of a wait time on this loading screen. That loading screen also happens every time you go into another area. Like if you go into a dungeon or you go out into a different part of the world. So it's not a full open world. It's a partial world with portals. Most areas are instanced, but not all of them. Right now I'm in a city on top of this tower here. I'll go down real quick so you can actually see the city. But essentially the game plays like a general MMORPG. Up at the top left you have your character. Energy, as you can see there, is what you use to run instances. When you run out, you can no longer run the instance. It does generate 10 every 10 minutes, but you can also get more by killing certain bosses in a little open world area outside of the city. It's to help keep farming at a lower amount, so you don't have these people going in and running these places constantly and just racking up money, which is a nice little balance to it. The level is displayed at the very top left, which right now I'm only at 12. There's of course your character name. This is Electrum, which is the cash shop currency. These keys are used to open chests that you find around the world. And when you go into instances, you may find like 4 or 5 chests that you can open for money or items. And once you run out of keys, you can no longer open them, but you do get keys as drops. They're an uncommon drop, I believe. Spire marks are another type of currency that can be used for some cash shop areas, and you can obtain this in-game by completing certain quests, or you can also get it from completing certain achievements. This shillings is your normal in-game currency gold. Up here at the very top there's this bar of icons. This one here is your inventory with a hotkey of I. Your inventory has your general stats right here as well as the items you have. This does incorporate a kind of advancement for your items where you can get pluses to them just upgrading materials and things like that. You can also go over and see your character. I have goggles that came with the character creation, and this is where your kind of special items go for your cosmetics. These I got through a special thing in game recently. I've only got another day left on them, but they upgrade my base damage. Now for the next one, it's abilities. You can only have one in each of these trees, but there's also a second talent area here where every certain amount of levels you get a new talent that you can choose from. There's only 3 you can choose from usually, as well as here. Here's your crafting area where you can drag an item over and you can upgrade it using these metals that you find. And it tells you what's going to be upgraded here and what your chance of success is. It's safe to go all the way up to a +3. Anything after, your chance of success starts to degrade. And you can use a cash shop item to improve the chance of success if you want. You can salvage items, so if you no longer want it but you need materials for upgrading new ones, you can drop it in here and it'll show you how much you're going to get out of it. Oh, well, I can't salvage an equipped item, but it'll show you how much you can get out of it. Let me unequip one of these real quick so I can show you. Go ahead and unequip that. So this will give me 4 more metal, which can be used to upgrade different equipment. This is the shop for the cash shop things. You can get different medicines and more keys and all kinds of pets and stuff. The pets will pick up your items for you, and some of them do buff you up, like more experience. This is just a little social area. It'll show some like achievements and things like that. Different things you're part of, parties, all that different stuff. This is a PvP area where you can go into ladder matches and things like that. There's a shop for special items that you get after obtaining different honor points for winning battles. You do get mail. I've got a few right now that I got from leveling up, and they give you a couple of items with it as you level up. Now, a little thing that's odd with this game right now is the language censoring. AV is censored for some reason, so when you type in have, it comes up with 2 stars in the middle. It's probably going to be fixed in the next update that's coming in like 14 or 15 days. And this is a city map, different areas that you can go to. Right now, I'm low level, I've only recently started. I've just gotten a feel for the game so I can get into starting a spotlight for it. You've got your mini map up at the top here. You can of course zoom in and out. There's icons for different shops and stuff. You can toggle your mini map and bring it out here. Now this is the full map. You can also bring it up by pressing M. You can filter it for certain things if you want. There is a gift bundle that you can get when you start. I will give the link in the description on where to get it and how to get it. It's a code that you'll get from signing in to another site, which is a free thing. You can just use like a spam email with it if you want. I personally haven't been spammed by it yet, so that's fine. And then over here is your daily login stuff. I'm not sure if this is just happening right now or if it's a continuous thing, but so far I've logged in for 4 consecutive days. It gives you a couple of things with it. It's always nice. Different events that are happening right now and when they're going to be happening later. There are daily events at certain times. Some of these events have shop discounts in game. So if you're going to, say, buy a pet soon, you can check to see if there's going to be a discount on the in-game pet store. So you may end up spending 50,000 shillings for a pet, but there may be a half-off sale coming up for 25%. These are just different objectives that you can do to get like the spire marks that I talked about earlier, some experience, things like that. It's kind of like Steam's achievement system. This is completion of certain areas. Like right now I'm in the refuge. I've completed everything to 100%. You do get certain things as you complete more and more. Down here is your quest area. Now of course you've got your general chat box, you've got your server information and settings. For the setting, you can change sound, video quality, anti-aliasing, gameplay stuff, and then you can change your key bindings, which is always nice. Here is your health bar. Down here is where your skills will be, so you can press the corresponding number to do the ability. E and R, they're pretty much locked to either your health potions or your steam potions. Now steam in this game is your mana, which is over here. It's just used for your general abilities and casting. You can have emotes. They're just your general game emotes. You can summon pets. I had one earlier, but it was only a transmuted one, and transmuted items only last for a certain amount of time, so I have to get another one. You can ride a vehicle. It'll pop up here with your different vehicle types. Right now I've only got the one. It increases movement speed by 25. It doesn't cost too much, so you can get it at a pretty low level. And then you can draw and sheath your weapon, which you can't do in the city for some reason. I'm not quite sure why they have it like that, but they do. So right now I'm going to head down to a dungeon. Oh, here's a daily quest that I can do. So we'll go ahead and grab a daily quest and run in and try it out. So this is a 1.8 thousand experience, 300 gold pretty much, and some metal for refining. So we'll accept that quest. And the cool thing about this game is there is an auto run, but not only is there an auto run, there's a pathfinding with it. So if you have a quest that you have to go to, then it's not letting me go. Then you can go ahead and just click it, and it will automatically take you directly to where the quest is located. And its pathfinding doesn't get stopped. I haven't personally had any problem with it getting locked up somewhere unless you have to jump. So, of course, like I stated earlier, this is a slightly instance-based one where you have to instance into another area, and there are loading screens for it, but they're generally pretty quick. So right now you can wait for a team, you can like ask for more people. Right now I'm the only one in here, so we'll go ahead and start this instance. They are timed so you can get certain special events. This one right here, I'm just opening chests. So I have to open 10 chests, and if I do it in a certain amount of time, it will give me special items with it, or more money or more experience. So this is one of the enemies in this dungeon, and right now I have my 2 swords out. That's generally what I play with. I can also have a single sword, which of course does more damage, but it's a little bit slower. And then there's your sword and shield. I like my double swords. I tend to do a lot more damage faster. You do take more damage, but I usually don't worry about that too much. I haven't had much problem dying in here. Now this is a lower area, so I will do more damage, but I also have higher items. I do tend to upgrade mine quite well. And one thing that I do have a problem with in this game is these lower level areas are really, really easy. I'm not quite sure why they made it this easy. I do like more of a challenge. Right now I am stuck on one thing because it's quite hard. It's a level 13 instance. I got it at level 8, so I have been having to grind a bit. Normally I don't have trouble with it. I've done all the instances up from level 8. The last one I got stuck on was this one right here, which I'm currently unable to do because I just keep dying. This is like some kind of demonic guy that is just annihilating me. And it's meant for 3 people. I've always done it alone. I went through one instance with other people, but it was like a level 16 or 17 that I was invited to. So I figured a whole bunch of easy money, why not do it? So there are, as you can see, there are breakables in here. These breakables mostly drop money. A few will drop items, but it's a lot harder to get items from this. Usually you get them from monster drops. You can pick up normal money by just running over it. However, items you have to pick up by hand. Your pet will pick them up for you if you have a pet to do that. I'll have to go get another one because it does get kind of tedious having to pick everything up, especially if you're in a timed run like this and you're trying to get some of the special things with it. Usually at that point you kind of just have to go off at a run and just say screw all the money and stuff and just pick what you can while you run. I do like this game because it's steampunk, which is very rare for games these days, and even more so for these MMOs. MMOs tend to be more fantasy based. They're all just kind of based around a Final Fantasy type deal or something like that. So it's a nice mix-up. Here it shows that I've got 2 new items, well, 1 now that I can upgrade if I want to. The question is it better than my current? So right now I've got 673 steam and it's unupgraded with 29 armor, so this one's pretty worthless. I can either scrap it or sell it. I'm just going to go ahead and scrap it because I've been running out of material. And so I'm going to go ahead and finish this up real fast by grabbing up all these missing boxes. I think I went the wrong way. So I'm already at 4 minutes and 11 seconds. This one's a pretty easy one to go through. You kind of just have to skip past all of the monsters and just open the boxes. Just gonna go ahead and beat that real quick. That way I can show you a little other features outside. And I have a big favorite of AoE moves. I know they're terrible for PvP stuff, but in most of these games it's best to start out PvE and then either respec to PvP or just stay PvE. It's really up to the players, of course, but PvE is so much faster when you do it with just a general AoE setting. It's also really fast to help power level either other characters you have if you're set up for that. I used to play Fly for Fun a lot, and I'd have a healer and buffer with me while I leveled up, or if I started a new character I would double log with a high level one and just power level it that way. This one I haven't really planned on doing that. I'm not sure how well it works. I doubt it works very well. There's not much of a healer setting in here that I've noticed. One good thing about the maps in this game is that it does show you chest locations and enemy locations anywhere in the dungeon. It also usually shows you where your quest will be located. Sometimes it won't because it's a wide area quest like this one. These little round things right here are actually breakables, so that'll show you where any of the breakables are if that's what you're here for. There are some quests where you just run through and break everything. So let's go ahead and grab one more chest over here and we'll be done with this. And this screen will come up. It'll show you your score on how well you did and your completion rating for the entire set. Once you max it out, you can get the top level thing here, which is the 200 spire marks. And you can either return to city. Oh, it also shows your rewards, but you can return to city or close and explore. If you close and explore, it gives you a time limit to run around and kind of break more stuff or open more boxes, anything you want to do. One thing that does kind of suck about that is if you're using a key to open a box and your time is pretty much out and you didn't realize it, you're on like the last second, you don't get to pick up those items and you lost that key. It does suck, but you can still get more keys, so it's not too bad. And whenever you're done and you want to leave early, you can just click the door there, it'll jump you back out. And here we are in the open world, in the open city again. You can come over here and turn in your quest. It is a story-based game. You can choose a couple other options to say. I personally haven't had any luck with difference between it, other than either you say something to progress or you say something to just drop the conversation. The other options are kind of worthless. They may offer something for that later. I personally don't see that coming. It's very rare. Unless, you know, you can either choose to go left or right. Now I can run back in to do the other portion of it, but I'll go ahead and hold off on that for now. So let's go ahead and look at a shop, I guess. Pull out my ride. Help speed things up a bit. There we go. Here's another daily. Every one of these instances has a daily quest. It's nice because it does add a little bit more replayability to it. These story-based ones tend to have a lot of problem with no replayability. Once you get to the top level cap, which in this one I've heard is level 32, the end game kind of isn't there in most of these. I played Raiders for a while and I got to the max level and there was no end game. You just kind of ran instances, got your PvP armor, and just ran PvP. Yeah, it's kind of what you do at upper levels, but when a game is only 30 levels long or so, there's not much replayability with it. You know, you spend maybe a week at most getting up to that level. If you're a hardcore gamer, you can do it in 3 or 4 days. And at that point, the game's over unless you go into PvP. And once you go into PvP, there's only so much you can do with that. So I'm hoping there's going to be a lot more with this. It is an interesting theme. It's not for hardcore gamers, I guess, but it's still a nice play. I do enjoy it personally. There's a few boards here that'll direct you to certain shops. You can. This one here seems to just be for your different things you can choose from, like what quest area do you want to go into. So this is more like a bounty board. They do have other ones, which I will go ahead and show you real quick. If I can remember. There we go. And these will show you where the shops are and they'll take you straight there. Oh, I actually got stuck on the Pathfinder. Was not expecting that. So I've finally been stuck on Pathfinder. Huh. Well, in most cases it works fine. Like this takes me directly here, which is the accessories shop. This little thing right here is where you can buy your bike for your first time. So you can either... Huh, I haven't seen that before. Some kind of mod? That's interesting. So the Valiant is 54,000 gold. It's not too hard to get, which is nice. You don't have to wait forever to get a mount. At about level 8 you can buy it, so that's really nice. Unlike Warcraft, where sometimes you have to wait forever to simply get a mount to help you run faster. And this is your general shop setting. These +1E are the Electrums that are for your cash shop stuff. This is for in-game items. It's not quite play to win. It's just like a little extra buff to it. Some of these I've actually noticed the Electrum are worse compared to your normal gold items at the same level. So it's kind of a hit or miss. So that's a good thing. You don't pay a couple Electrum and just get this massively powerful item, which some of these MMOs are like, and that's one of the things that gamers don't like to see. With this Electrum, you can get them from those survey shares that you find online, like you were able to do with the Fly for Fun games or some of these Nexon points. So that's very common to see in these games. A lot of players don't like that because they have a hard time doing it, or they require downloads, which usually are adware, spyware, and rarely, but does happen, viruses. So you do have to worry a little bit about that. Now, what I do for that when I do run something for getting these cash shop currencies is I'll make a virtual machine, which is like a computer in a box on your hard drive. And with those, you can just download VirtualBox and you just install Windows. Now, you don't have to install legit Windows. You can also install Linux or Mac OS, any of that stuff. But if you just install Windows, you can download one of the CDs from the Microsoft site and just install it. It's like a 30-day trial or whatever, and it still works fine. And if you're just doing this for their surveys, then you don't have to worry anything about that. You just load it up, go up to these surveys, download everything you can find, and run the surveys. You don't have to worry anything about spyware, viruses, adware, nothing. Because once you're done with it all, you can delete that VirtualBox and it's gone. None of that download stuff is on your hard drive. It's not on your Windows installation. It's all perfectly safe and so much better. That way you can easily get this cash shop stuff if you want it, and you don't have to pay a cent. It is a little bit longer of a process than buying it, of course, but you know, free cash shop stuff, why not if you're really into the game? This game doesn't offer too much for high-level gamers that just love these hardcore games. So far, I haven't had too much of a challenge. I guess these bikes are just terrible for pathfinding. Yeah, running is what the pathfinding is best for. But the only trouble I've had so far is on this instance that I'm just going to run into, figure out what it's like. Oh, looks like someone's waiting to go in. And as you can see, it's 50 energy to do this. So this is the one that I just keep dying on. And I started at level 8, so we'll see how well I can do this one. This is a little crazy and gory area. You can actually shack the bodies for some money or items. So you're just looting these dead corpses by shimmying them around a bit. One thing about the battle system is it is auto attack as long as you attack once. If you don't attack the one time, he's just going to sit there and hit you. So once you attack once, it's fine. That's one thing I'm not too fond about, but it does kind of help if you're just trying to take damage, you know, kind of just tank it for someone else. But if you're being attacked by like a group and you kill one, you have to immediately either use another ability to target them, or you have to target them with a normal auto attack. It is annoying, but it's just kind of how the game goes. It is in beta still, so there's a lot more to come out for it. So here I am just kind of killing off these minions. These ones here do a little bit more damage, they're harder to kill, but it's not too bad. It was really bad at level 8, I could only take one at a time, and it took me a little bit to kill them, so I was kind of expecting to die. Now, a cool feature that I haven't shown yet is that you can block. Even with dual swords, you get a little block meter here, and it'll come up with a damage and then a DR, which is your damage reduction that you saved from, you know, getting hit. And go ahead and open one of these chests over here so you can see it. How you open chests. You know, took one of those keys that I had and got a couple items from it. Now I'll show you the damage reduction. You can see that it comes up with 23 DR, which is about half the damage. You can stun them if they're going to attack, which is always nice. And that's the general combat there. There's not too much else to it. It's just kind of target and use your abilities. I don't know if any of you are familiar with some of those games where you have to keep the target by using your mouse or whatever. Like Dragon Nest. I was very fond of that one. If you're an archer, you had to actually target them with the mouse cursor. You could miss if you didn't shoot straight at them or if they moved. And I love that aspect because it's not just an auto attack. It requires a little more skill, a little more user interface there. And then once you're done with that, once I was done with that game, you know, I'd played it a bit. I had an issue with a cash shop item I'd gotten from doing the surveys because I really liked the game. And the customer support kind of said, well, the item's not working, you're screwed. They said it, and it wasn't just that they didn't believe it, it was a known bug with that item. And after I'd done the surveys to get the stuff for it, and they just said something like that, I was like, screw you guys, I'm done with this game. So I was not very happy about it. And that's one thing that's really hard to find, is good customer support for these free-to-play games. Hopefully this game has better customer support. I haven't worked with them personally. Hopefully I won't have to, but if I do, that will be very nice to have good customer support. I also had customer support issues in Fly for Fun. One of my really expensive 7 billion coin suits had disappeared, if any of you are familiar with that game. And it was due to the update to the new gold version. And I sent them a request for it. I didn't hear anything after a month, sent another request, still heard nothing after a month. I stopped playing the game because of that. I was really annoyed at that. I spent forever getting that item, and 7 months later I get a response. Can you send us more information on your inquiry? Well, 7 months later I'm kind of done with the game. So that wasn't the best experience ever. I can understand some of these player bases get a lot of these different inquiries, and they may be a lot of them, but 7 months is a little too long for me. And I seem to be doing a lot better against this guy this time. The one problem I really hate is him disappearing or flying around like that. And you can block some of these things if you need to. I am quite happy with how well I'm doing so far. But if he would just stop disappearing, that'd be nice. Go ahead and heal myself a little bit. Block this. Ah, come on. I hate that attack. Oh, it's dying. Ooh, that's nice. Go ahead and try and dodge some of the stuff if I can. Start healing again. See if I can survive a little bit. Got him down to half health. Let's hope maybe he doesn't try to heal himself. I don't know if this one can. There was one that I fought before that could heal themselves, and it was really tough to beat, but I didn't die on that one. Okay, let's start healing again and try and get an attack in. This guy seems to get a lot stronger as you get his health down lower. I really hate that fact because it is just not easy to win. It's kind of odd that you can block from behind, but I'm not complaining. Yep, there we go, he's healing himself. That really sucks. So it looks like I'm probably gonna die again. Which, of course, was expected with this guy. I'm not quite sure why he's so hard, but it's a really nice change from the easier bosses that I've been facing. It may be, I guess at the lower levels they just don't want to discourage new players, which is understandable. Some players, if they die early, they do get discouraged. And I guess it is a little bit the help to fix that, but if you're an upper level gamer, you don't like that. And one thing I haven't noticed so far is a diminishment in your experience or any other stuff while you're playing in here, or when you die, I mean. And that's nice. I would like there to be a penalty for it. Maybe there will be later in game, but it's nice to see a drop in that. Over here is where you can buy your pets. I still don't have enough for this one. And it does give you a little bit more experience, a little more regen. And that's about it for this. There's not too much more to show you right now. That's the general gameplay, the HUD setup, a little bit of the inventory, the shops, some of the items you can get, some of the stances you can take for your different weaponry. There are other classes which are like casters and marksmen for gun users. I haven't personally played those yet. I will be doing a let's play for this game. I'll start out with a new type of character, so it's a little more of a blind let's play. It'll go through a tutorial area, which is where you start out, and it'll come into this city area. That way you guys can see more of how the game starts and progresses and how the full gameplay goes, instead of just a little bit of this instance and that instance. So this has just been a spotlight on the game. I personally like it. I do recommend it. It's browser based, so you don't have to download a thing unless you don't have Unity web player, which you can get right off the thing. It'll come up saying download Unity. You click it. It's like a 23 meg file and a 23 meg install. I don't see why you wouldn't do that. So if you want to try it out, you don't really sacrifice anything on hard drive space, and it's not very graphic intensive, but it still looks beautiful. And that's about it for this. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you'll subscribe or like. If not, if you saw there was a flaw with it, you didn't like maybe some of the stuff I said, maybe how my demeanor is, anything, go ahead and leave a comment, let me know. I'm open to any suggestions. If you want to see something on a specific game, or you just enjoyed it as it is, go ahead and leave me a comment, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, anything with it. I am an affiliate of the Banhammer Guild on YouTube. We are new. I will have links to the Banhammer page where a buddy of mine sets up his stuff, and we will be linking our stuff together. There will be a few games that you see later on that we will collaborate on. We'll do multiplayer with it. We might do a few Minecraft stuff. I have done some really creative, neat stuff in it before, and we may be bringing that back and putting it up on YouTube. But have a look out for that. You know, maybe check out the site and go ahead and leave the same feedback for my friend there, whether or not you like his stuff, maybe some suggestions on how to improve it. Anything will work. We just really appreciate feedback from our fan base, and do read every single comment that comes up. We do ask, you know, be respectful. Just try to not have a rant go on. We know we will get some of these things where there's just going to be someone who's just like, you guys suck. It's going to happen. It's the internet. But try not to do that. You know, if you're a dedicated person, you're a decent person, try and leave some feedback if you like it, or if you don't. I mean, if you don't like it, please a little more than just it sucks. I do want to grow as a YouTube user. This is my first video that will be posted up here. It may not be the best. but it's my first, so cut me a little bit of slack there. My mic isn't the best, so I'm sorry if the sound quality sucks, but we will see how that turns out, I guess. And if you have any suggestions for games again, please post those. I do have a large game base myself, a lot on Steam, and a few others that are DRM. And if you like this game and want to see more, please go ahead and post. I will throw some more stuff in there. If you have questions about the game, I'll go ahead and answer those as well. This has been a Spotlight with Nox, and I will see you guys in the next video.